18-mile stretch, the piece of U.S. Highway 1 that connects the Florida Keys, including Key Largo and Key West, with mainland Florida. Built in 1943 during World War II and primarily for military use, the 18-mile stretch is long overdue for improvements. With the increase in population and the number of annual visitors, this narrow road with nowhere to pull over and its bumps and its dips is counted as one of the most dangerous roads in the United States. During this program, we'll put you in the driver's seat for an ongoing ride down this treacherous road. You'll hear from our mystery videographer and over 100 other people that called in to a radio program hosted by South Florida radio station Star 102.1. Strap yourself in. It's time to experience firsthand what we're talking about.
Place to start as any. The reason I decided to videotape my commute from Homestead to Key Largo is that 2 days ago I was nearly killed by an 18-wheeler on the 20-mile stretch. My crime was driving the speed limit. The truck was in a hurry to get to Key Largo, got into the four-laning, got about halfway past me, swerved over and tried to kill me. I've got my cruise control set on 45 miles an hour. And right now I'm leaving Homestead, coming into Florida City. This is where the turnpike drops down into US 1. As you can see, nobody pays attention to the speed limit. Everybody just speeds along, and it gets worse as we get down to the stretch. 55 miles an hour. What you're about to see is what happens on my daily commute from Homestead to Key Largo. There's a big debate going on right now about whether this road should be 4-laned or remain 2 lanes, or possibly even 3 lanes. To be quite honest with you, it really doesn't matter if there's 10 lanes here. The problem is that this road is absolutely unpatrolled by Monroe County, Miami-Dade County, or the state of Florida. It is total highway anarchy. People pass in no passing zones. The average speed is 70 to 80 miles an hour. It is not unlikely for a truck to run you off the road, try to put you under their wheels, ride you on your tailgate, harass you. The worst possible thing you can do while driving down this stretch of road is to do the speed limit. Still have my cruise control set at 55. I'm going to move over into the right-hand lane. And once again, not to disappoint us, you're going to see a line of speeding cars. And is this section of road patrolled? Absolutely not. He almost hit him as he was trying to pull over. Even the little old ladies flying their American flags, they're not immune from speeding either. I think this one must have seen the camera. The funny thing, when that truck almost ran me off the road, my first reaction was a little more severe than picking up a video camera. But I figured that was the solution. Since this road is never patrolled, obviously the Dade County, Monroe County, and state of Florida officials have absolutely no idea what's going on out here. Well, this tape is going to show you, because I'm going to tape this every day. And as soon as this tape is full, I'm going to mail it out to every newspaper. I'm going to mail it to the Monroe County Sheriff, which I have talked to in the past to absolutely no avail. It's going to be sent to the mayor of Miami-Dade County. It's going to be sent to the governor and several newspapers and television stations. No shortage of speeders. The shortage is of enforcement. that perfect? Isn't that perfect? This is another common problem. Tailgaters. You can see in the mirror, this guy is anxious to get around me. It's 45 miles an hour. I'm doing 45 miles an hour. And he is just chomping at the bit to pass. As a result, he's right on my bumper. If I had to make a sudden stop, he'd go right through me. And watch, he will be the one that'll pass me and start speeding in the 45 mile an hour zone. We're just getting ready to come around the bend, mile marker 106, onto the 4-laning in Key Largo. This is one of the most dangerous intersections in Florida because people speed through here, they're not paying attention, and again, they tailgate and they try to pass because they want to speed. Speed limit 45. Cruise control set at 45. This is the beginning of the 4-laning. Do you see any patrol? No. The sad thing about the Monroe County Patrol and the state troopers is that they actually lead the speeders. It's not uncommon. RG Mechanical Services. Speeding.
But mystery videographer and I were not the only ones getting frustrated. We thought it was time to gauge the public's response on what they thought about whether the road between Florida City and Key Largo should have been widened. So Star 102 put together an editorial that we ran over the air that ended up resulting in over 100 phone calls on what people in the area of South Dade and the Upper Keys and even some from Key West thought about the needed improvements for the road. This next segment, while we drive down the road, we're going to listen to some of these calls as you continue to sit in the driver's seat on US 1, the 18-mile stretch between Florida City and Key Largo.
My name is Victoria Allen. I live in Tavernier, and recently I received a notice in the mail to attend a meeting to oppose the widening of the 18-mile stretch, and I received it the day after the date of the meeting, and there were no phone numbers to call, and I just wondered if other people had experienced the same thing. Thank you.
Hello, I'm a Cuban-American that first came to the Keys in 1971 and fell in love with these beautiful islands. I've owned my own residence in Key Largo for over 17 years. Due to my employment, being in the mainland, together with many others I saw each day, I was blessed with risking my life, or should I say driving, the infamous 18-mile stretch for over 8 years on a daily basis. Twice each day, in the morning and return trip in the evening. Unfortunately, though I no longer work in Miami, my present duties still involve driving north 2 to 3 times weekly. I'm a well-trained driver, though I'm not a trucker. I own a Florida CDL license. I could write a book about the experiences I've had in that stretch of US 1. Unfortunately, the near misses, never mind the accidents I've witnessed, have given me something to think about. It's enough to make anyone religious. To this day, I cannot understand the selfishness of those hypocrites that are against the widening of US 1 and my oblique views of the dependence on the outside world for these beautiful islands to survive, as the economy of these islands has struggled each day for that much-wanted tourist dollar, including some of those weekend warriors everybody talks about. It's beyond me. Other folks here have not taken a stronger stand about this issue. It's also beyond me. Here's a clear problem that has existed now for some time, with factual and statistical data that proves US 1 is a dangerous road, not only for evacuation purposes in case of a hurricane, but a daily safety hazard issue for residents as well as visitors. We have a clear solution We've had it for some time now. True, it will take some time, and in the process there will be many inconveniences. However, the reward at the end will more than make it worthwhile. It will substantiate whatever inconveniences we have to go through. I just hope the people, as well as the politicians here in the Keys, see the light and take a stronger stand for what we really need, which is the government to take over and whiten US 1 once and for all. Start taking whatever steps are necessary to make the Keys, or getting to the Keys, a safer and happier place to be in. Thank you very much. My name is Mike Akulian. I've driven on highways in New York, the Keys for over 10 years, 8 years in Germany on the Autobahn. I've never seen a more dangerous highway in my life. DOT should do something immediately and mark all the medians with bright fluorescent orange tape or reflectors, and I believe it should be all widened with 2 lanes. I think we need a 4-lane highway from Florida City directly over the bay to Key West. Thank you.
Yes, this is in reference to your commentary on the 18-mile stretch. I don't think it should be widened. I think it should just be made safer. The 18-mile stretch provides people with about 30 minutes of leeway time to enjoy the Everglades and to get prepared for the slow traffic that they're going to encounter as they enter into the Keys. Where's everybody going to go once they get there? 2 lanes is ridiculous. It should be made safer, not wider. Thank you.
I've studied the widening of the stretch for many years, and every time a road is widened, the traffic increases to fill the road. The widening does not solve the problem, it just increases the problem. More lanes mean more cars. I do not want more cars in Key Largo. This is Joan Mallory.
Yes, we need the 18-mile stretch to be widened up. I am a mother of 2. I have to go to Miami every time my kids are sick due to the fact that there's no good health insurance companies down here. My insurance company only covers in Miami, and it's very hectic when you have to run up there with sick children all of a sudden. So that stretch does need to be widened. Thank you. My name is Carmen.
Just heard your editorial on the radio, and I agree 100%. It's time to get our head out of the sand and get that 18-mile stretch widened. Thanks. I'm calling in reference to the stretch widening. I think we should leave the stretch alone, maybe make 2 lanes out. Everybody that moved to the Keys that wasn't born here realized full well that they're moving to an island, and in moving to an island, we have to realize that you take responsibility for your own actions.
Hi, my name is Mark McCready. I just heard your message on the radio, and it reminded me of a friend who died on the stretch about 3 years ago. That friend was very close to me, and it was a matter of passing, and he was trying to rush somewhere to work on time. If we had 2 lanes on the highway, that death could have been avoided. Thank you for listening to my comments, and I'll be in touch with you guys about widening the 18-mile stretch again. Thank you.
I just heard a message about widening the 18-mile, or it's an 18-mile stretch, yeah. I've only been down here for a year, and I noticed on the first trip in that if there was any problem or any dilemma on the way through, that there's nowhere to get off the road. So it's 2 lane. So if you're going to widen it, why not? It's totally ridiculous not to. With as much traffic, tourism is one of the Keys' main economy statuses, so why not widen it? Make it convenient for the trouble matter. A flat tire, where are you going to stop? Who knows? So why not widen it? Make it convenient on everyone. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you again.
Hi, I think they should have widened this stretch because there'd be a lot more flow of traffic for the businesses which
restrained growth is the philosophy of the cancer cell. I think your station's editorial position is absolutely toxic. Good day.
Hello, this is Lawrence Campbell. The widening of the stretch, I don't know, but all I know is you got a few facts. You have people that go too fast, and you have people that go too slow, and they're both trying to get one area, and this is just something that's not going to change, and whether that's right or wrong, but all I know is you got people who, the too fast people will try to do dangerous things to get around the people who go way too slow. We got to figure something out where there can at least be an easy flow. People don't have to do crazy things to get around people that just don't happen to be going the same speed that they wish to go. Thank you.
You know, I've lived in Florida all my life and homestead in Florida City, Florida all my life, and I'm 40 years old in March. And 2 lanes is just fine for the Keys, okay? From Florida City down anymore, you sink us, okay? We need no more roads. No more roads. No.
Yeah, I heard an advertisement about expressing our opinions on the 18-mile stretch and if we wanted to extend them or not. And I think it's a good idea to widen the 18-mile stretch to 4 lanes. I mean, think about it. If it's a long stretch of time, a long stretch like those 18 miles, why wouldn't you want a safer, easier road to drive on? So I think it's pretty much a no-brainer that you definitely want to widen. Definitely would want to widen the 18-mile road. It seems like a good idea at this time.
I'm a 20-year Keys resident. Strongly disagree with your viewpoints that the stretch should be widened, and I strongly disagree with your assertion that the county government doesn't represent my wishes. I'm opposed to the widening, and I think there are plenty of ways to accommodate hurricane evacuation with temporary lanes are only available during evacuation periods. Thank you.
I just heard your comment on the widening of the stretch, and I thought it was asinine inflammatory rhetoric. It's really easy to see who you're representing. Certainly not the people. More like you're representing the businesses and the developers. And the length of time that it went on and the fact that it sounded like a full-blown rave really gave you away. Why don't you get off the air and just play music?
Yes, my name is Henry Kelly, C-H-E-L-I. I'm a resident of Key Largo. I heard your news report about the dangers of evacuation. There's only one comment I have to make. The fact is that during Hurricane Andrew, people who evacuated the homestead were killed there. So when you're dealing with hurricanes, you can get the homestead, which is the mainland, and still get killed. Thank you.
I live in Key Largo, and Nora Williams does speak for me and many of my friends and neighbors, and we are against the 4-laning of the 18-mile stretch. 3 lanes with a barrier would be just great. 4-laning, I think, would be horrific. And thank you very much.
Yes, I'm calling to give you an opinion about the 18-mile stretch. I think they should go ahead and 4-lane the road because it would cause less accidents to have more room for these people to get where they're going. And the accidents are caused by speeders trying to get around other people. And besides the fact that the Keys are growing in population, and nothing's going to stop that, so they might as well go ahead and make it a causeway, just like the beach has. Thank you.
Yes, I wanted to call and comment. Absolutely, they need to improve the roadways down in the Keys. It needs to be safer. By limiting development of additional residential properties and hotels, you limit the number of people that can be down there. And so you don't have to worry about opening up the roads and having more people come down because there's nowhere for them to go. You can limit
up and fight about something like that.
Yes, my name is John Gilbarty, and I'm a part-time resident to the Keys. And I have a home in Hammer Point, Tavernier. And my suggestion is that they should get a collection or a list of names of all the people that were killed in automobile accidents on the 18-mile stretch, and have some sort of reading of that on a constant basis to remind everybody on why the road needs to be widened to 4 lanes. Most of those deaths are due to vehicles trying to pass other vehicles and causing head-on collisions. Thank you very much.
Yes, my name is Nita Gilbarty. I'm a resident of Miami, part-time resident of Tavernier in the Morrow County in the Keys. I am totally in favor of enlarging and making a 4-lane in the 18-mile stretch due to the excessive ways that we see people speeding, trying to pass one another, and also causing all the accidents and deaths in the last few years. It is important that we make constant mention of those who have been killed due to the lack of understanding for many of the people. I believe right now they have 100 signatures about not wanting to enlarge and make the 4-lane, and they only want to keep the 2. That's causing so many problems in so many years in the Keys. It's about time that they do something about it, and the mayor of Morrow County to please do something about it and understand it. This is a tourist place. The Keys are very popular, and also would make, for so many millions of dollars that people invest in real estate, it's about time that they do something about that. People don't stop going anyway. Even if you have 1 lane, people are going to continue going, and this is not a remedy or to keep it private. It is not private. There's millions of dollars invested in real estate, and there's a lot of good profitability in the Keys, and one thing doesn't make sense with another. It's about time that they do something about it for the safety of all the drivers going to Morrow County. Thank you. Yes, I would like to leave a message in Spanish for the Spanish community. Este mensaje en español, quiero dar una opinión en español para la comunidad de Miami y de Monroe County, referente a las 18 millas que existen entre Florida City y los Cayos de la Florida. Es referente a la cantidad de muertes que han habido en los últimos años debido a que no quieren, el alcalde de Monroe County no está de acuerdo con que se hagan 4 líneas de carretera, y debido a eso ha habido demasiados accidentes. Quiero otorgarle a todas las personas que por favor que opinen, que traten de ayudar y cooperar si ustedes no están de acuerdo con que solo existan 2 líneas. Yo soy residente temporal de fines de semana en Los Cayos. Es un lugar muy bueno y muy bello, con mucho sol para aquellas personas que les guste la pesca, y ustedes saben que se han invertido muchos millones de dólares en bienes raíces en los Cayos de la Florida, para solo tener por todo este tiempo solamente 2 lanes y dos maneras de cambiar, de tener lanes. Necesitamos que por favor todos cooperen, si alguna vez en una oportunidad tienen, para opinar y para pedirles a la comunidad que nos ayuden a hacer 4 líneas en las 18 millas entre Florida City y los Cayos de la Florida. Muchas gracias.
Hi, my name is Mike, calling from Miami Beach. I listen to your station all the time. 2 things. Number 1, I agree with you. There should be better evacuation from not only the Keys, but from Dade County. It's very difficult, especially for a disabled person to evacuate if it's very hard when the roads aren't very good. That's number one. Number two, I enjoy your station, okay? Thank you very much.
Hi, this is Guillermo. I want to support 3 lines. 1 line coming in and 2 lines going out, and no central dividers. That's all. Thanks.
Yeah, hi, my name's Lloyd. I used to work at Jackson Trauma Center, and I have a favorite saying: nobody ever calls and reserves a trauma room. You never know what's going to happen. If you think that even with all of our technology we can stand up to Mother Nature, we're mistaken. We could use the 4-lane evacuation route. There's no argument about that.
Yes, hi. I'm just listening to the radio announcement about the 18-mile stretch. I'm recently moved down from New York, and I'm living in Southwest Dade, and I go to the Keys quite often, and I would hate to get stuck and possibly get involved in the worst case scenario would be losing my life because of not enough access to get in and out. I don't know much about the situation, but listening to it on the radio, which I listen to your radio station all the time, and it's amazing what kind of a radio station you guys have. The best I've listened to. Great music. And this announcement made me think, like, wow, what's going on? I think that Monroe County mayor should be impeached, and he should be removed from office if that's the way he feels. There must be big money involved for him to make those statements that there doesn't need to be a 4-lane stretch to get people in and out, make it a lot easier for us to get to and from. I'm just making a quick comment to let you know how I feel. My name's Eddie Stack, and I live in Southwest Miami-Dade, and hopefully enough people will call and get involved. My brother is a mayor in a small town in Union City, New Jersey, and I'm going to let him know about what's going on down here, and he can get some idea of what needs to be done during emergencies. Thank you very much. Keep up the good work. You guys are the best. And hopefully Mayor Nugent will change his opinion about it. We do have to give him a chance to give him the benefit of the doubt, but if he refuses to do that, then the people of Monroe County should impeach him, get rid of him. Put somebody in there that feels the way the people feel. Remember, the politicians are for the people, they're not for themselves. Have a great day, guys. Thank you.
I think we need to get over it and pave the stretch, 4 lanes, fix Jewfish Creek Bridge. I mean, the road to paradise is paved with bodies. Whose family member is it going to be next? It's just time. It's got to be done. We're not going to change the traffic down here. We got too many people already. Why kill more people just because we're trying to hold a few people out? We need it for the hurricane evacuation. We need it for commuters. We need it for tourists. You know, why should the road to paradise be paved with bodies? Let's just get it over with. Let's make the state and the feds pay for it and be done with it. Thank you. Have a nice day. Whoever did the commercial for the widening of the road is a total moron.
Hi, I've just listened to your commentary, and I totally agree with you. I do not agree with the woman who called after that. I live in Key West. I may not be part of this discussion about Florida City and Key Largo, but I live in Key West. I'm part of Monroe County, and I have a fear of getting out of here in hurricanes. I am petrified of not being able to get out. I agree that it should be enlarged. It should give the opportunity for these people to get out. What are they talking about, having more people come down here? This is ridiculous. I totally agree with you. It should be enlarged 4-way. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kelly Strong. I live in Homestead, Florida. I travel to the Keys and Key Largo probably about once every 2 months. And I think that the new plan that Star 102 FM has come up with is an excellent idea. It's a brilliant plan. If those people who oppose the plan can come up with a plan, a better idea to evacuate thousands and thousands of people out of the Keys when a storm is approaching, then so let them come up with this plan. This road was built for people back many, many years ago. If anybody is smart enough to realize there's a lot more people now in South Florida and Key Largo than there ever was. How is it that we're supposed to have a road that was built for many, many years ago for the people that were here, and now there's so much more people down here? It only makes sense to make the 18-mile stretch a little bit wider. And if the accusations about the comments about Mayor Nugent are true, that guy needs to get a life and go somewhere else where people will accept a liar. Us people here in South Florida do not deserve a mayor that is wrong. If you can't be right about the prospects of what the evacuation plan, about people being killed, it's just totally ludicrous that people don't want to widen the road. Do you think that they're not going to do it in a good way? If it is done, it will be done in a good, clean, fashioned manner. So hopefully the people will wake up one day and smell the roses and realize the right thing to do is to widen the road. So I really appreciate your station. You guys have an excellent radio station, and whoever came up with the comments talking about it on the recording that I'm hearing every day when I listen to your station, you guys are brilliant. Thank you very much. Kelly Strong from Homestead, Florida. Bye-bye.
Yeah, I think the four-lane highway is just going to add to a lot more pollution, a lot more destruction. We need to get to some real deals here. We need to go to bicycles to get to places. It's short enough. It's easy enough. Come on, 4 lanes. How much more pollution? How much more traffic? How much more are we going to have to pay? Yeah, here's a good one. Let's get 4 lanes. Let's charge $100 a person. Let's put 2 big ears when you come in and call this place Little Disney World.
Absolutely, you guys are right. I'm born and raised here in Miami, and that has got to be one of the most dangerous roads in this town. I can hardly go down there without seeing an accident, and I can just imagine that in a panic, that place is somebody's going to wreck, somebody's going to do something, and everybody's going to be stuck on the causeways, and people are going to die. I cannot believe the stupidity of people not wanting to 4-lane that thing. It's unbelievable. And I'm glad that you as a radio station have the guts to get up. Thanks.
I totally disagree with your stance on widening this stretch. If you widen this stretch, that will increase the building density that'll be allowed down here. They'll build more buildings, and then you'll have another traffic problem because there'll be more people living down here. So then you'll have to widen it again. Meanwhile, you've ruined the environment down here. It's already bad enough. So I'm not listening to your radio station anymore. Thank you.
Hi, I'm calling regarding the issue about road widening leading into the Keys, and I'd like to share this. People of the Keys, listen and heed. Star 102 is totally correct in their position. As a dive paramedic and a first responder, I've got a lot of experience and know how to express this opinion. Where did this person come up with widening the road increases crime? I'd like to see some statistics on that. And a road with a barrier on it? Come on, folks, get real. Anyway, you've already got 2 barriers in Monroe County. The mayor and Commissioner Williams. Seriously, evacuation procedures and routes must be carefully planned and orchestrated with great care and professionalism to avoid panic. Besides the fact that historically we are now overdue for another large hurricane to slam into South Florida, this issue of widening the 18 miles into and out of the Keys must be carefully considered, planned, and executed. I only hope the people of the Keys will do a better job on this road widening issue than they have in choosing a mayor. In closing, I'd like to say to the woman who called in and said that Star 102 commentator was a moron and slammed the phone down, thank you for that constructive opinion. Please call in next week so we can be further amazed and impressed by what new words, phrases, and opinions they have. God bless the residents of Monroe County. With the present mayoral leadership you're under, you'll require all the prayers we can muster on your behalf.
Hello, I'm for widening the stretch. I'm a Metro Dade firefighter, 26-year veteran. I work up at the Homestead Fire Station, which covers the Homestead area and the stretch up to mile marker 113. In the last decade, I could think of at least 10 deaths that I've worked on due to traffic accidents or drowning, people driving into the canals. happening, seeing families destroyed, children drowned, or in car accidents. I'm for it. 4-laning the road and possibly putting up a concrete barrier with an opening every mile or so. Thank you.
Yeah, I kind of been listening about the comments that you guys have been talking about widening the 18-mile stretch, and I don't know much about the whole situation because I'm actually Miami, but I did do work down Keys. But why would they first try to widen Cartstown Road? I mean, there's even people on Cartstown that need to evacuate, and I think it would be less damaging to the environment to open up that road, which has more space for it, than cutting into the Everglades. Just food for thought. This is Eric. Thanks.
Yeah, I think it's a wonderful idea to widen the 18-mile stretch, but I think a highway from Key Largo to Marathon should be 4 lanes before they open the cork on the bottle there. Because it's just going to allow the speeders to go down here and then get stuck in a 2-lane traffic that they're going to have to try to pass, and it'll just move the accidents from the 18-mile stretch down here into the more populated Keys area. You're going to have people that are still in a hurry to get to Key West, no matter what. So I think in its time, great, but first let's 4-lane the rest of the highway. Thank you.
Yeah, this is a concerned citizen. I'm surprised that most of your information is coming off of 1935. I mean, come on, this is the year 2000. We have Doppler radar. I could get enough information a week ahead and walk out of the Keys.
Yeah, hi, this is Josh here. If you did 4-lane, you'd have a little Miami down here almost instantly. We'd have too much people down here already as it is. And also, it's not, the road is not dangerous. Hell no, it's not dangerous. It's the idiots who drive that road in an outraged manner because they're in a rush to get down here. There's 2 passing zones. Slow vehicles stay to the right, fast vehicles move to the left. If you're impatient and you have to get in a car accident, hey, it's your damn fault. Don't drive like a moron. Drive like a civilized person. It takes 20 minutes to going at 50 miles an hour, 25 minutes at 50 miles an hour. Hey, it's 25 minutes long. Take the 25-minute venture. It's not a big deal. Remember, cars are not dangerous. It's the people behind the cars that are dangerous. Car accidents are only caused by idiot drivers or accidental drivers, but that's an idiot on the other side. Thank you. Bye.
Hello, I live in Isla Morada, and I think that widening the 18-mile stretch is a really great idea, especially for evacuation purposes. But I think it's really interesting that this radio station has asked for everyone's opinion on the topic. But if it's different than what this radio station believes, you say that it's not based on facts. An opinion is just that, it's an opinion. And I don't think that there's any need to criticize someone else's point of view. And I'd also like to say on another note that listening to the same announcement about 20 times today at work has inspired me to buy a CD player so I don't have to listen to your radio station all day long. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yes, hi again. My name is Eddie Stack. I called early this morning about a comment, actually about statements about the gap in the Keys with the widening of the 2-lane into a 4-lane. Another thing I'd like to bring to your attention, because I appreciate listening to your station and you allowing us to know what's really going on, since the politicians don't want us to know. If you could look into maybe or doing a little bit more exploration into, like where I live in Southwest Miami, they were trying to open up another jail on Southwest 88th Street and like 157th, where there are new homes being built and where there are a lot of children and families that are going to be living there, and we don't need a jail in that type of atmosphere, in that type of living environment where there's young children and families, people that are working hard to pay taxes and to worry about something like a jail where there's escapes, numerous escapes in the jail not far from where I live and in Southwest Kendall. And I think it's something else that maybe we can look into also. I appreciate that this station is taking concern for the people of Miami and for the people in Monroe County and the Keys. I think the people should really listen in
and wise up to what's going on. God forbid if there is another major hurricane. I wasn't here for Hurricane Andrew, but I know it was pretty devastating, and to get people in and out, I think that's our most important priority. I think that's the priority of the politicians, and you're bringing that attention to them and the people. And the people are what's important here. We have the power. We have the vote. And again, congratulations. It's about time that some radio station is taking the initiative. Again, I just wanted to say thank you. Keep up the great work, not the good work, the great work, and continued success. And I will be listening now, tomorrow, in the future. And if there is any other comments to be made, I'd be more than happy to call and let you know how I feel. Again, I spoke to my brother in New Jersey about what happened, and he was very concerned about it, and he's taking that initiative where I used to live to find out what we can do to make things better for the people. People are important. That's what matters. That's simple. Have a great evening. Sorry to take up a little bit more time, but I appreciate it. Thank you, gentlemen and women, and everybody at 102.1 Star. You're the best.
My name is Martha Norval, and I've been a realtor in the Keys for the last 10 years. And I think you should widen the stretch 4 lanes. Our population had doubled, and it will be safer for everybody. Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to make a comment on the widening of the road to 4 lanes in Monroe County. I'm a long-time occupant resident, and it really seems to me that the importance of protecting the citizens is really overshadowed by the need for political comment. When it really comes right down to it, what's important to people? We start talking pollution issues like this. Those are really nominal issues. When it really comes right down to it, you need to be talking about the safety of individuals. I don't know how many people have actually lived through a hurricane. I've lived through. It's a scary thing. If I could do anything to protect my family, I think that would be the real issue. Something to consider. Thank you.
Hi, I'm a Key Largo resident, and I've driven the stretch from when I lived in Key Largo back in 1973 until now, and I've seen too many fatalities. My feeling is build a 4-lane road and patrol it. That will control the speed. It'll allow troopers to enforce the traffic laws, and the way it is right now, it's unsafe for troopers and policemen to go after speeders because there's no place for them to get on and off the road. Let's 4-lane the road, let's build a safe road, and let's patrol it. That will control the speed. The naysayers that say everyone will just be speeding if we 4-lane it, I guess they just want to see the carnage continue. And as far as keeping people out of the Keys, by not 4-laning it, hey, the genie's out of the bottle. We have the capacity in the Keys with hundreds or thousands of hotel rooms and facilities for people. They're going to go. Let's 4-lane the road. Let's make it safe for ourselves, our children, and let's patrol it and make it a safe road. Thank you.
Yeah, I'd like to know what idiot developer is behind all that squawking you're doing on the radio. Everybody knows what the bottom line is, and that is that the moratorium is being lifted and that 4-laning it will allow people to come in and out. So you're not fooling anybody. And you can say my name over the radio, Jason Seiler.
Hi, regarding the highway, my family owned about 7.5 acres on the ocean front since the 1940s, and I grew up down here until about the late 70s when I moved here permanently, and I've been here ever since. So I've seen this place go from an area where I once walked on our beaches, so-called, as a child and was able to collect everything from sharks to octopus to anything that you can imagine. Now the only thing I can collect is cuts in my feet from broken beer bottles. I haven't seen an animal near a shoreline in God knows how long. The only thing that floats up anymore is junk. You want to widen the 18-mile stretch? Well, it's not going to serve any other purpose to bring than to bring other people down here quicker. That's it. You can't evacuate any number of people from this area. You're talking about 120 miles of residents through a bottleneck. They're going to want to bring every boat. By the time you supervise everyone out of here, it will be such a mess that the people like me will not want to leave. My husband and I have chosen to stay no matter what. We've been through, my husband was through Donna. We've been through every hurricane here together, and we will help in emergencies, but I'm not going to risk my life on this highway with idiots trying to get everything. I've seen them literally try and tow motorhomes and boats at the same time to get out of here. It's not going to work. It never will work. You either plan 4 days ahead or you stay home and go to a shelter. Widening will do nothing but cause us to become, as one man said, Little Disney World. Well, I think it should be Big Disney World, and I think the fee should be $500 per day at the toll, at the stretch. So, as a resident all my life, let's leave it alone. Let's try and continue to be the small little fishing camp we were, but hey, it's the 21st century, and we're disposable like everything else today. Thanks a lot. We're not speaking up because our voices just aren't heard. The residents have been here forever, and I think that's the true reason you don't hear from us. We're tired of battling an uphill climb, and when the Bubba system was here, it worked. It really did. I hate to say it, but we don't need northern ethics in our southern town. Sorry. Thanks a lot.
I just want to say I agree with Nora Williams and the mayor. I don't think we need to four-lane the road. I think we need to have safer driving established, have more troopers and policemen patrolling the roads. I've been in EMS for over 20 years, and I've seen many, many accidents on the stretch in the four-lane area and all the way up and down the Keys. We need better, safer drivers. You have people that are just speeding all the time. And four-laning is going to destroy the beauty of the Everglades, and we just need to have the government order evacuation before early enough where it's going to have a safe evacuation out of the Keys, because we need to get out before Dade County's evacuation so that our people will have further ways to travel and they can get there in a safer time. And again, it's the drivers. It's not the roads. Thank you.
Hi, I just, this is my second call. I just can't take it anymore. The people that are for widening this stretch seem to all be coming from and calling from Dade County. When are they going to realize we really don't want weekenders? As we say down here, they come down with a $20 bill on a T-shirt, and you know what? They don't change either one in 3 days. All they do is leave their diapers by the side of the road, park where they're not supposed to, beach and party where they're not supposed to. They cause more problems on the 18-mile stretch than anything else. Widen it, give them more room, give the animals less room, give the environment less. It's bad enough we lose 1 million acres a day of our forests and our environment. When are we going to learn that you cannot fit any more people here? My family's lived here since the 40s, and I'm going to tell you something. This place has changed so much. We've got property out of here. We're ready to permanently evacuate because you'd never make it out anyway. 4 lanes, 12 lanes, 100 lanes. It doesn't make a difference. A tractor trailer's going to fall, it's going to fall. An accident's going to happen, it's going to happen. You can't stop it. So forget it. You won't want to get stuck in Dade County from down here? Don't come. Thank you.
Good morning, Stars 102.1 FM. My name is Eddie Stack. I called yesterday about the comment concerning the Keys. I'm listening to the radio station again this morning, and I hear some pro and con. What I'd like to say is that I congratulate the radio station for allowing both for and against to make their comments known, and for you to allow those statements to be heard on the radio. Some of the people that are making comments against it are more than entitled to make those comments. I mean, that's why this country is the best country in the world, because of the fact that people can say what they feel and not get in trouble for it, not be thrown in jail. Some of the comments, though, saying that they're not going to listen to your radio station anymore, that just goes to prove why communism is still strong in some parts of the world. Because people tend to think that, well, we don't like what he or she says or what he or she is thinking about, so we're just going to totally obliterate what the situation is and make things obsolete. And that's the reason why there's one-man power in some of the countries, because of the fact that people don't understand that you're allowed to make a comment for and against. And if you don't feel that the keys need to be changed, fine. But you got to remember something. There's millions of people that visit, and there's millions of people that are going to continue to visit. And having a 2-lane in and out, to me, makes no sense at all. If it was up to me, I would build 8 lanes. There's still going to be that many more people going to and from. And building and what have you, that's going to just take place in time. Just the way it is. I'm originally from New York and also New Jersey, and we don't like things going on up there, but building is building. It brings in more jobs, more revenue, and more tax ratables. It's the way it is. My brother's a mayor in a small town in New Jersey, and he was just recently elected. And I'm sure he doesn't like what a lot of people think and say about him, but you know what? He doesn't mind it, because then he takes issue as to what maybe somebody said that he knows they may be right, and then what he can do is make the change. What we have to do is make change. Not listening to people and ignoring people and not listening to your radio station is not going to do any good for any of us. You have a right as a radio station to make your opinions known, and you're also allowing us the right to make our opinions known, and that's what matters. Keep up the good work, guys. You're doing what you have to do, and it's amazing. It's the first I've heard of it in Miami, and I've been here a little over 3 years, and I'm just amazed at how some people feel. Hey, you know, this is America, the greatest land in the world. We better keep it the greatest land in the world and keep it free. When we have people that don't like someone else's opinion and we want to turn them off, we will become a communist nation, and that's something to think about. And I hope that's not the way it's going to be. If we don't like the way somebody says or somebody thinks, well, we can always change that ourselves by sitting down and reasoning, and that's what this is all about. We're trying to reason to figure out what we can do with the keys to make it a safer, better place for all families, whether we're tourists or whether we're living here. So.
Yes, I believe that we should have a 4-lane road up out of the Keys, and I think it should be elevated. Then we don't have to worry about the environmentalists and the damage to the ecology. And we need to pay for an elevated road where the water can go back to the way it used to be and flow through. And I think we also need a 4-lane road in Islamorada, and I live in Islamorada, and I'm for a 4-lane road. Tavernier used to back up before they put the 4-lane road in. Now it backs up at Snake Creek. And that's where I live, and I don't like the traffic. The traffic's going to keep coming. It's here to stay. People that are going to Key West are not put off by that road coming into the Keys. They go to Key West. Let's make it so we can at least go shopping and get our milk and whatever, and we don't have to hold up on weekends. Thank you.
Good morning. This is Ed Sikora. I'm a longtime resident of Plantation Key, and I would very much like the road to the Keys 4-laned. I believe that it's a federal highway, and I believe that we should have the right to have a decent road to the Keys. I believe that it should be 8 feet above sea level, because that's the criteria for building here. Why not that be the criteria for building the road? The road is built on the old railroad bed. This railroad bed was kept clean on both sides. There was no trees. It was burned off in my mother's day when she traveled here to the Keys on the train. The growth that's on the side of the road is second growth, and it really, even though in some places it's pretty, it has no particular value when it comes to rebuilding the road. The road should be rebuilt. We have an attitude here that we think that this is going to restrict traffic. No one anywhere in the nation travels on any road and calls ahead and asks how wide it is. When somebody's cold in the north and they want to come to a warmer place and they pick Florida and the Florida Keys to come to, they don't call ahead and ask how the road is. They just proceed on. Whether that road was an old gravel road, they'd still use it just the same and we'd have the same amount of traffic. This attitude towards not expanding and not finishing the Keys, after all, a lot of people live here, and many of the people that live here do not make any comment towards anything. We let outsiders and we let a few rebel rousers just run the show for us. Many people don't vote, and therefore they're not heard. They don't vote for a number of reasons. A lot of people, and they don't make a lot of comment for a lot of reasons. They don't want to be ostracized in any way because many people have problems here in the Keys of making a living, of where they're living, the extra rooms and apartments under houses. So consequently, a lot of people don't make any comment at all about a lot of things. Things just pass on by.
You know, I've never called into on a radio program before, but after listening to the rambling commentary on the reasons for widening the 18-mile stretch, I had to make my comments known. Does anyone in their right mind believe conditions today are the same as those that existed in 1935, and then to use them to refer to Nugent as a liar? What la-la land does this individual exist? At least present intellectual facts on your programming should be made. Thank you very much. Key Largo.
Hello. First of all, I'd like to say I like your station. I love the music you play. In regards to the 7-mile road widening, the first thing I'm going to tell you is that I think that it's a radio station's duty to report the news, not to make it. You guys are trying to influence the outcome of the road decision. I personally am not for it, but if they're going to build it, then at least build an L and build a bridge high enough that boats can get under so we don't have to wait for a drawbridge. An L could go all the way to Key West with off-ramps on the different islands, and it could work, but it's going to be real expensive. That's my opinion. Thank you.
Yes, I think the stretch from Florida City to Key West should be widened. One thing, I travel it 5 times a week, and it's a hassle to get down here. If there's an accident, forget about it. And I think the people who's making all the ruckus that they don't want to do is people who live down here because, for one thing, they live here and they don't have to deal with it, hustle and headaches getting out of the Keys when there's an accident or so forth. So my vote would be to widen the lanes. Have a good day.
Hi, my name is Don O'Brien. I've been a law enforcement officer in the Florida Keys for 15 years. I've traveled that stretch so many times, and so many head-on wrecks. I don't know if we need 4 lanes. I personally am in favor of it, but I don't know if I'm the expert on it. I doubt I am. But I do think that there needs to be some kind of barrier between the north and southbound lanes. Everyone's driving 90 miles an hour before the Keys sink into the ocean, trying to get down here. Everyone else is driving the same speed northbound. And all there is for protection is a yellow line. I mean, that's nuts. Someone needs to wake up and make these roads safer. And, I don't think they're going to bring more people than we already got. How could they? And for those that are worried about the squirrels and the snails, I'm more worried about the people.
Yes, hi. You know what? I live in Homestead, and let me tell you something. The 4-lane highway, I approve all the way. Because commerce, I mean, come on. If it wasn't for tourists, Key West, Key Largo would be dead. So it should be opened. The hell with the environmentalists. It should be opened. Thank you.
Key Largo, and most of the times, traffic is impossible, especially when there's an accident. I mean, the whole block, and then you have to take the Carsound road, and I mean, I agree, with widening of the streets, 4 lanes. Thank you.
Yeah, I have a comment about your 4-laning of the stretch. I think your use of scare tactics by your radio station is deplorable. To scare people and tell about the depths of the 35 hurricane during the evacuation, that's ridiculous. That was a different time, and this is a different time than now. I just wanted to tell you that, instead of 4-laning, why don't you promote 6 or 8-laning of that stretch? And that way, all the people could come down and empty out right at your radio station. There'd be more sponsors, more revenue, and life would be beautiful. Thank you for your time.
I've been a resident of the Florida Keys for 30 years, and in my opinion, I believe that there should be a bridge, 4-lane highway from Key West to Homestead. Not a ground level 4-lane road, but a bridge 4-lane road. This way, it will save the animals. It will free up a lot of real estate for, walk-around shopping. It will change the whole appearance of the Keys, make it more advantageous for tourists, and also free up all the traffic. Do it once and get it done. It'll last forever if you do it right. Never have to be done again. Do it once, do it right.
Yes, I'm a resident of Key Largo, and I commute to Miami several days a week. However, I want to express my opinion on 4-laning US 1. I am adamantly opposed. I own a home in Key Largo. I'm very concerned about property values being destroyed when our beautiful natural resources here in the Upper Keys are being used by day traffic coming out of South Florida, using our beaches, our public boat ramps, and not spending any money here. It's going to put a tremendous burden on our tax base in order to maintain the Upper Keys in terms of trash removal, sewage, etc. And it's going to be very detrimental to the quality of life in the Upper Keys. So I wanted to express my opinion. Again, I travel that road several days a week, and I am still adamantly opposed to 4-laning the stretch. Thank you.
Hi, this is Jody Torino of Homestead, Florida, and I've been listening to your commentary, and I just wanted to give you our support about widening the lanes. I am, too, an environmentalist and hate to see construction, especially some of the bad construction that goes up, but my fiance drives to and from Key Largo every day for his job, and it's very scary, the amount of accidents that we see. And in addition to widening the lanes, perhaps we could get some better law enforcement to enforce the reckless drivers on those streets, so maybe everybody could be happy. But keep up your commentary. I love your comment line, and I love how bold it is. So keep up the good work. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Mary Ann in Key Largo. Thank you for this opportunity to express my views on the widening of the stretch. I am very much for the widening to a full 4-lane highway. My decision is not based so much on the letting in of more tourists or criminals from up north, which I consider an overzealous, even bigoted viewpoint, nor even on the evacuation process. I base my opinion on the type of vehicles that use the stretch. There are semis, cars, trucks, and trailers hauling boats and recreational vehicles, travel trailers, and RVs, all of which inherently do not accelerate nor stop at the same rate that a car alone does. A right lane for slower vehicles or those heavily weighted is a must. The bulk of the accidents are head-on collisions in the 2-lane areas created by a frustrated car driver behind a semi or boat-hauling vehicle or slow-moving car. With a slower vehicle keep right lane that exists throughout the state, I believe these head-ons could be avoided to a great degree. This means 2 lanes north and south throughout the entire stretch. Human life is much more important than the game of politics. One last comment. As only 4 or 6 miles of the stretch is in Monroe County, is the decision really ours at all? Thank you again for allowing me to express my viewpoint 102. Bravo to you.
This is Captain Sterling Kennedy in Key Largo. I just heard your Panic the People Hurricane commercial, which is very biased, very much for the road widening. I'm very much against it. If you want to bring Miami down here, put the 4 lanes in. If you want people to get out of town, we've got Carson Road, and we've got 2 lanes on US 1 going north. What else could you possibly need? When they get that, the whole fallacy, the whole thing is when they finally get up there with all these people that can't get out of the Keys, where are they going to go? Just like Andrew, there's nowhere to go. So put the 4 lane in, and we'll all die up in Homestead, Florida City, instead of down here in Key Largo.
Yes, my name is Alan Harris. I live in Kendall in Dade County. The gentleman who suggested having a bridge built, that's a very good aesthetic idea. Another idea would be to build a double tier. Being that we don't have earthquakes here like California, you have a lower deck and an upper deck. And being that they already have passing zones that are 4 lanes going to the Keys, they might as well just go ahead and make the whole thing 4 lanes. People that are going to go to the Keys are going to go to the Keys whether or not there's 2 lanes or 4 lanes. Making 4 lanes would just ease the traffic and would allow the people that are going back and forth to come to and from the Keys with greater ease and not as much time spent on the road, and it would be safer. So whatever alternatives they choose, times are changing. They need some new ideas. They need to be able to go to and from the Keys, whether it be on a bridge or whether it be on a ferry or whether it be on a boat or whether it be however they want to do it. They need to do something because it is a dangerous road.
Key Largo resident here for 20 years. You guys are really abusing your responsibility as a radio station, and you're very biased on this issue. Besides that, here's my opinion on the widening of the stretch. Don't do it. And secondly, I'm tuning to Sun 103.1. Goodbye.
Yeah, I'm a Florida City resident, and I don't really agree with the opening of 4 lanes on the highway. And if so many people are so afraid of hurricanes, why come out and move out to the Keys? Secondly, if there is a hurricane, why don't they just shut down all southbound traffic to 1 lane on Cartsound Road and utilize the stretch as 2 northbound lanes and 1 lane of Cartsound Road northbound also, leaving 1 southbound road on Cartsound for emergency vehicles, etc., etc. But everybody's so worried about what damage could be done from a hurricane and how to evacuate efficiently. Well, from Plantation just about all the way down to Bahia Honda, it's 2 lanes. What's going to happen there? Are they going to open that up to 4 lanes also? People need to realize what's happening before they make comments that they're not really too aware of. Thank you.
Yeah, my name is Vinny, and I made a comment about this whole deal. The 18-mile stretch should be widened. I mean, you people in the Keys think you own the Keys. This is the United States last time I checked, and it would benefit everybody out here to modify that road and make it a 4-lane highway like every other interstate is in the United States. I usually frequent the Keys, and if you ever take the boat on a Saturday, you understand what I'm talking about. I've already lost 2 friends on that 18-mile stretch due to head-on collisions, and I think it's totally ludicrous that should stay that way this time and age, the technology we have. And further building of that road is not going to impact the Keys one bit, because people are still going to come down, and we're still going to ride that road, whether it's 2 lanes or 4 lanes. And just the people down in the Keys need to share it, like everything else in this country that's beautiful needs to be shared. So that's my opinion, and that's my opinion. I think it should be widened. It's unsafe. Too many people have
and a hurricane, it will be a lot more. Thank you. Yeah, my name is Vinny, and I live in Miami, and I travel to the Keys quite frequently down there. And by the way, you guys run one heck of a radio station. Just started listening to it since I've been down in Isla and really enjoy your station.
You know what? Pretty much I'm sitting around here not listening to music because I have to listen to 72-year-old Millie Cymbalwhacker talk about living in the Keys since 1942 and what is she going to do now. Listen, the Florida Keys is a beautiful place. If you like it, then stay. If you don't, then leave. You know, Florida Keys, love it or leave it. It's simple. But basically, what I can't understand is why everybody's whining and bitching and moaning. I can't get to wherever. I can't get to Homestead. Why don't you just leave 2 roads going out and 1 road coming in? Widen it to 3 lanes. 1 lane coming into the Keys, 2 lanes for this evacuation. And as far as that damn bumper sticker goes, are you kidding me? The murderers? Stop the murderers? I think that's going a little bit too far. I'm in college. I'm not that smart. I don't even have my degree yet. But maybe some simple thinking could just get this done for us. 2 roads going out to evacuate. 1 road coming in. That'll keep the tourists and their jet skis out of the Keys, and that'll keep everybody that needs to get out 2 roads to get out. Is this really worth wasting our time?
This is Kim Ganaway, and I use a stretch every day, and I think it should remain 2-lane. It's just fine the way it is. Bye. Hello, my name's Paul, resident of Key Largo, and calling in regards to widening the stretch. My comment, just bridge it all. You know, that way you keep it up. You got the guardrails, and how you doing? Listen, I live in Key Largo, 102. I've only lived down here 16 years, but all the stories about 4-lane in that road as making it sound like that it's for evacuation is not legitimate. All right. I was one of the last people to leave at the start of Andrew. There wasn't a soul on the road, hardly any police. The southbound lanes have been shut for some time. You could have drove, half of Isla up through Key Largo and on to Florida City and the mainland without any interference whatsoever. We went on, of course, and proceeded to Lauderdale and dodged most of it. But let's face it, if it really was all about evacuation, then there'd be no need for 4 southbound lanes, would there? Or for 2 major segments coming south. We'd only need a northbound extension or northbound expansion in order to get people off the island. And let's face it, when they shut it down at Florida City, the southbound lanes, one could be left for traffic and the other lanes could be used for northbound traffic. So let's face it, it's all about hotels and businesses. The rest of this subterfuge gets boring to hear on the radio, and using the public's sensitivity to hurricanes and loss of life in like 1938 is terrible, not to mention unethical. And you've got my comments, and I'll be listening to see if anybody has the stuff to run it. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye-bye.
Yes, I completely disagree about widening the stretch from Homestead to Key Largo. I think that it would destroy the mangrove habitats on either side, and also I've seen many people pass on the other side when it is 4 lanes anyways, and just spend that money beefing up the police force that patrols that section instead of widening it and destroying more of the ecosystem that we already have.
Yes, my comments are these. As a 20-year law enforcement officer in the Keys, I think it's high time we put this issue to bed. We need to do something with the stretch. Whether we 4-lane it, 3-lane with a barrier, something needs to be done. And I absolutely find it incredible the same people who believe that the current government in Monroe County is incompetent to control growth believe that those same people are competent to control an evacuation. We have to leave during hurricanes. Something has to be done with the road to stop the carnage up on the stretch. Hello, I'm driving down the stretch and would like to give my opinion. I really don't
they'll come down, spend the night, spend a little money, and add a little to the tax base. Day trippers don't do anything for our economy. Thank you.
Hey, I love that station of yours. It's great. I can barely pick it out up here in Dade County, but it's still great. As far as your whiting on your road, it'd probably be a good idea. I don't live down there, but it'd probably be a good idea for you all to be able to get out of there in case of an emergency. I'm a police officer up here, and I know that last time we had to go down there and clean up, volunteer to clean up, the debris and whatever. It was a real pain to get down there because we couldn't go down there to help, and people couldn't leave to get out of there. So it'd probably be a good idea for you all to do that. Either way, the Keys are beautiful, so keep it like that. Take care, and great station again.
Yeah, this is Vince from Miami. Just have one comment. For all you people in the Keys that think you own it, well, guess what? Wake up call, people. It's the United States, not the Conquer Republic. So let's think about that when we start talking about that we're going to make an interstate that's a federal highway, 4 lanes or not. Remember that. You got some part-time residents, only for the time you're alive. The rest of the time you got to share it with everybody else. That's what makes this country great. That's all I got to say.
Yes, on the issue of the 18-mile stretch, why don't we put this issue to rest once and for all, do a referendum of the people in a general election, and see what the people of Monroe County really want.
Yeah, this comment's for the people in the Keys. You got to remember one thing. DOT wants to widen that road. They're going to do it whether you want them to or not. Y'all are fighting over something that you absolutely have no control about. Federal government has control over that. They feel they need to widen that road. They're going to do it whether you like it or not. So it's kind of pointless to have this argument. That's my opinion.
Hi, I'm just calling this is Sunday, March 9th, and I just thought you all might want to know that there's an accident on the stretch, and it's 8:30 p.m., and it here is pretty bad. Thanks.
Hi, I'm commenting about the 18-mile stretch. My reply to Vince from Miami, if in fact everybody does own the Keys in the United States, they should learn how to take care of it by picking up their trash before they leave. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ken Trufa. I own several properties here, and I do agree with you guys 110%. Just want you to know I really respect what you guys are doing, and I'm with you 110%, and I think the road should be widened. I've been through there numerous times and almost involved with head-on collisions, and you can see what happens on a daily basis. I respect what you're doing, and we back you up 100%. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
I'd like to tell you all what I think about the 18-mile stretch being widened. I think it should be definitely widened because there's many times where I go down there every weekend and there's people going 50 miles an hour down the whole down the 2-lane, and then when it's a passing lane, they go 70 miles an hour. That is the most dangerous thing I've ever seen in my life. That is when the people start to get mad when they're going 50 miles an hour, and I seriously think it should be widened, and I'm so glad you guys are for this. Thank you.
18-mile stretch, 4 lanes the whole way. It'll save a lot of lives. I drive it all the time. It's dangerous. It needs to be improved. Any other place in the country would have fixed the problem by now. Thank you. 4 lanes on the 18-mile stretch, important because it's a safety issue. It'll save a lot of lives. If you're afraid about the number of people who are going to come down to the Keys, trash the place, and not spend their money here, put a toll gate there at Monroe County. Charge all non-Monroe County residents a fee to come in. We'll use those monies to clean up the highways, to build parks, make this place even more wonderful. Think about it.
Well, I just wanted to remind you guys to be careful about going against Nora, because remember what she did to Van. So, be careful. Bye.
Hi, my name is Eddie Stack. I live in southwest Miami, southwest Kendall. I have made a comment before concerning that 18-mile stretch. It's the 12th of March, and I'm listening at it's about 2:40 in the afternoon to the one of the owners of Star 102.1. And congratulations. I can't believe that we live in a society, especially myself only being a resident for 3 years, living in New York for 35 years, New York and New Jersey, and seeing what people feel up there and how they express themselves, whether it be pro or con, but we stick together and we want to get something done because this is a free society where we have a choice in saying something and getting something done. It's a God-given right. Our forefathers died for this right, and we have people that think that they're just going to, do what they want. Politicians have to bring this to the people, and I don't think just the people of Monroe County. I think the people of South Florida. I think maybe the whole state may have to vote on this, and let them say, hey, this is what we need and this is what we want. As far as development, it's going to happen whether we want it or not. I'm sorry. The Keys are not private. That is part of the U.S., and we have a right to go there, and we have a right to go there safely. 2-lane, 4-lane, that should be an 8-lane as far as I'm concerned. 2 lanes is ridiculous. I was going there last year when that container tipped over, and for almost a full day it was blocked. People can say what they want. If they're sitting in their home nice and comfortable and they don't feel unsafe, it's because they're in the presence of their home, fine. But the people that have to get in their car and they want to go on vacation and enjoy themselves, and they're with their children and grandchildren, and they feel unsafe, there's no need for it. We need to do something about it. Development, non-development, whatever the case may be, it's going to happen. Safety is our primary issue, and the people are our primary issue. And if the politicians don't like that, then we have to vote them out. Vote them out now. The people have to be the ones to say, this is what we want. Vote for it, yes or no. And this is the United States of America. Pro or con, we're allowed to express ourselves. And the owners of 102.1, congratulations. You guys are the best. And it's about time somebody's finally taking this to the people and letting the people know what's really going on. So again, I'm calling again because this is how strongly I feel. Eddie Stack, Southwest Miami-Dade, my wife and I do go to the Keys, and when we go there, I'm shivering, and it's not nice. It's a very unsafe drive, and we need to do something about it now. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Keep up the great work, and I will continue to listen to 102.1 Star, the best in the business. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
This is Ed Sikora. I'm a long-time 40-year resident of the Keys, and I'd like the 18-mile stretch 4-laned, and I would like it 8 feet above sea level. And I believe that the amount of people that have been killed on the road is enough evidence to redo the road. We need a good evacuation route. The secondary road is very dangerous, even as it is, and we need a decent road. Any opposition to it is just personal rhetoric from people that it's really unfounded. This is a federal highway, and it needs to be rebuilt. We need a 65-foot bridge at Snake Creek, and we have to remember that most of this road is in Dade County, and so consequently not everybody in the Keys has the say over the entire road. And I'm very much, I want the road rebuilt, and I'd like to thank the radio station, 102.1 for the opportunity to give my viewpoint, and I'm looking forward to a new road. Thank you very much.
Hi, I've been coming to the Keys now for 15 years from the UK, and I think one of the things you need to consider if you're going to widen that road to 4 lanes is that invariably you'll create a bottleneck further down the line. We've done this time and time again in England. We widen the road to solve a problem, and all we do is move the problem elsewhere. I think another thing you can consider is building a slightly elevated 2-lane road to use for to happen in the future, the next 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. All we know is that the larger the road, the more people we get down here. I'm reluctant to say that it's a possibility that it may be the best thing to do, but by the same token, we really don't know. It's going to bring more people, and it may be like many of the cities up north that end up being strip cities. One city gets large enough, it opens up roads, it ends up being another city extends to that, and suddenly we have major cities combined together being a strip city. This could happen. This could be Miami. Miami might be able to annex the Keys. I don't know. It's a very big question, and I don't think anybody really has the answer. We just let enough information over the next couple of years or so, or within a reasonable period of time, to consider all the possibilities and then make a decision.
Yes, I'm calling to make a comment about the 18-mile stretch. And you're absolutely right. It does need to be four-laned. But more importantly, it needs to be policed. I drive from Homestead to Key Largo every day, and I have made a videotape, which is almost every day for an entire month, after I was almost killed by an 18-wheeler. And the average speed on the stretch is 80 miles an hour, and that's not an exaggeration. It needs to be policed. Doesn't matter whether it's four-lane or not. People are going to continue to be killed out there until the police, both Dade County, Monroe County, and the state of Florida, get out there and stop the speeders. That's the key to it. I would be more than happy to present the radio station with a copy of this videotape. In fact, I'm going to make another copy of it tonight, and I'm going to drop it off at the radio station tomorrow. Four-lane the road. Get it over with.
Hi, my name is Becca, and I drive the stretch every day to work. And I agree with expanding it, but only for an evacuation route, meaning one lane heading southbound, but 2 lanes heading northbound. We expand it any more than that, we're already going to damage the surrounding environment and make it more vulnerable, as it already is. It also needs to be much more, there needs to be more safety involved in this road as well. Maybe call boxes for emergency, more patrolling of the highway with the idiots that drive around down here. I enjoy your station as well. Thank you very much.
Yeah, this is Vince from Miami. I got a comment regarding the four-lane widening. People in the Keys got to learn that you don't own the Keys. You're just temporary residents there. One day you're going to die and it'll go to somebody else. So it really doesn't matter, does it? Anyway, that road must be widened because it's a safety hazard. And it's going to get widened whether you people want it to or not. They're going to widen it. The DOT wants to widen it like every other federal highway, so it's going to get widened. So why waste time over it? You know, sit back, relax, have a run runner. It's going to happen. You can't get in the way of progress. You can't fight City Hall. You should know that by now. That's my opinion.
I think it would be wonderful if they would widen the road. I'm a long-distance truck driver and periodically have to travel that stretch. And it's rather annoying, and it's hazardous, and it's dangerous. Yes, it should be widened. Thank you.
Yeah, this is Vince from Miami again. I just got one thing to say about the four-lane highway. That road is a federal highway, and the Keys belong to everybody. They don't belong just to the people that live down there. They belong to everybody. So why not make it safe? As you know, everybody here loves to go down with their boats, and they do it every weekend. If there's a dirt road, if there was a ferry, they'd still go down no matter what. So you're not fooling anybody by saying you're going to keep us out. We love the Keys. We're all going to come down there and spend our money and do our fishing and do everything else we love to do down there. So, you know, this is the United States, people. Let's share the wealth here. You know, everybody likes the Keys. Everybody likes fishing. You know, let's not be greedy and keep it all to ourselves. You know, this is the United States. That's what makes this country great. And Star 102, you're doing a great job. Just letting you know that from all the boys here in Miami. Thank you, and that's my opinion. And what can I say? I love the Keys. Yeah, this is Vince from South Dade again. Just leaving a comment on regarding the four-lane highway. If you've ever been down that road, US 1, and had a real bearing on your boat go bad, you want to talk about fun? Try and change a wheel bearing on the narrow, ridiculous road that they got going making 6 lanes with big, wide emergency lanes for just for that boat traffic in case something happens to your boat. And why not put the Metro Rail in there too while we're at it? This is a tourist attraction, and you people in the Keys are making lots of money off of these tourists. They come down there. You don't seem to complain much about that when they're filling your pockets with dollars, but you're going to complain about everything else when they want to make this road safe for our tourists that come down here and everybody else that goes down there to enjoy the beautiful Keys the way they are. You people are unbelievable, but that's the way it should be, and the road should be widened. It is a federal highway, and that's just the way it should be. And anybody who opposes it, ridiculous, completely ridiculous. And it's got to be done. It's going to be done, whether you like it or not. And that's the way it is. And you people are just part-time residents down there. This is the United States. That's what makes this country great. And this radio station is great. We're supporting it, and I support them 100%. And that's my opinion.
Good morning. My name is Steve. I'm getting ready to leave my house to come to the Keys on my daily commute down the stretch. I'm just wondering if today is the day that I'll be killed on the stretch by a speeder. It's time for Monroe County and Dade County in the state of Florida to get out there and start enforcing the speed limit. That would definitely cut down on the number of people that have been maimed and killed on the stretch. Been commuting down there for 9 months. Very rarely do I ever see a patrol car on the stretch of any type. Dade County's the worst. You never see a Dade County police car on the stretch, and the majority of the stretch is in Miami-Dade County. So come on, guys, get out there and do your job. Cut down the deaths by patrolling that road and enforcing the speed limit. There's a speed limit there for a reason, and the reason is safety. Come on, get out there and do your job.
I drive the stretch about 4 or 5 times a week, and 4-laning it would be the best idea. Now, for the Key Largo people, we have had enough of you making the decisions for the middle lower people. Why don't you take the 4-lane away from the Key Largo area, give them back their 2-lane, because that's what they want anyway, and let the rest of the Keys have a 4-lane road. And for the person that said there's a key deer on the stretch, there's no key deer on the stretch. That's in the lower Keys. And you can always put a rest area in halfway down. There'd be less traffic. And also, those are people that were sitting at that accident, mile marker 84 today. Remember, that happened in a 2-lane road. It was a 4-lane road. There wouldn't be an accident. Thank you. Bye.
Your station needs a stronger antenna so that the middle and lower Keys residents can know what's going on and be able to call and base their opinions. I am from the Middle Keys. I happen to be traveling through to Miami. I'm on the stretch at least 3 times a week.
Definitely widen this stretch. I'm a firefighter paramedic on both sides of the stretch, and definitely seen the fatalities and the accidents that occur, and plus a few close calls myself, so definitely widen the stretch.
Hi, my name is Louis Quedaval. I live in the Keys for about, Implantation Key for about 20 years, and it's absolutely important that this US 1 be widened. The road as it is very dangerous, and anything else against this doesn't make any sense. We need the road widened for safety and to facilitate the traffic in and out, and that's the way we should go. Thank you.
Yeah, hi, this is Mike Cardwell. I just recently moved down here to the Keys, and maybe one solution to everybody wanting the stretch widened and not widened, add like a little express lane on the way out that can be opened a couple days before an evacuation needs and closed when there is no evacuation. And also, I'd like a couple of Brock umbrellas, the old thing that sits on your head, and maybe like a dozen donuts. And they could add a couple turns, on the stretch, because it's just not as fun to drive. It's real straight. Kind of like to drive a little curvy sometimes. So, that's my input on the whole deal. And everybody who's listening, you guys have a wonderful day.
Hi, my name is Karen Barton, and I've been a resident of Miami for 45 years, which is my entire life. And I've gone to the Keys frequently, and I'd like to first point out that I think Star 102 is doing a fabulous job on broadcasting this, and I'd like for you to please keep it up. I do believe in four-laning the highway. I have been going there frequently. I fell in love with Isla Morada, and my parents have a house in Key Largo, and I go down there at least 2 or 3 times a week. And in the past week or so, I've seen literal bloodbaths of car accidents and seen bodies all over the road, and it's been worse and worse as the years progress. I also would like to make a suggestion that I think one of the best things that would happen is for Miami to quit spending money on arenas that we don't need, another sports arena, and start putting the billions of dollars spent on these sports arenas and new places for people to play to continue the Metro Rail all the way to Key West. This would help the weekend traffic, would help people stop from drinking and driving. They could just take the Metro Rail back to Miami and take a bus back home, and would keep a lot of the cars off the road. And it also would be a very good resource for people to get out of the Keys if the hurricane is very nearby, and if something does happen to the roads, at least they could physically get out of the Keys, even leave their cars there, because the bodies are more important than the cars. I've been through many hurricanes, in fact, all of them since the past 45 years. I endured Andrew, and it was very scary when no one was allowed back into the Keys or back into their homes for a very long length of time. And I think a concrete construction such as the Metro Rail would work very good as far as transporting people on a daily basis, and we wouldn't have to spend so much money on gas. And I appreciate you airing this. If you do, please keep up the good work. God bless. Bye.
Hi, I have an opinion about the 18-mile stretch. I think it's a good thing. I think it's a necessary thing, and I think it's something rather important. And as far as these people who live down the Keys are afraid of it's going to draw in more traffic, I think that's quite impossible. They're going to go down the Keys anyway, just as the gentleman said earlier. I'm all for it. I think it can only improve driving conditions and a more enjoyable ride to and from the Keys. That's my opinion. I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, this is Frank Mosse with Columbia Yacht Service. I just heard your commentary on the radio. I think it was 100% correct, and I commend you for taking that strong stance. I agree 100%. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Good afternoon. I just want to make a comment. I am for the wide of US 1, the 18-mile stretch from Florida City to Key Largo. Number one, everybody should consider is that the road denominator is US 1. I've been listening to people say that they're a resident of the Keys. I've been listening to the comment that I am a cock. I've been listening to the comment that this person is from the north. Let me point out, the denominator for that stretch of highway is US 1. Stands for United States Highway 1. It doesn't run from the country of Ecuador or Africa or Mexico. It runs from United States city of Key West, Florida, to the state of Maine, which is a federal highway. It belongs to all the citizens, whether they're a visitor, whether they're a resident, or whether they're a tourist from another country, have a right to use that road, and in using that road, everybody has a right to a comment. It is not owned solely by the residents of the Keys. Whether you own property in the Keys, and I own property in the Keys, I have a house there. Whether I was born there has nothing to do with it. It's the same way that a Keys resident has a right to drive on a roadway in New York City, drive on a roadway in California. Everybody has a right to the roadways going to the Keys. And in being so, I believe that that is not an issue. Whether you live there or don't live there or don't want anybody there, that is a roadway designated, I don't know how many years ago. This country was in civil war. That's not the issue anymore. The issue is whether that should be widened to 4 lanes as a safety issue and as a roadway of the United States. That's the issue. Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Thomas Beckman. I'm a graduate of Horace Horse High School. I lived in the Keys most of my life. I'm now in the Air Force. I live up in Homestead. I have a lot of family and friends that still live down in the Keys, and I travel a lot. My kids are coming up of age to be on their own and drive on the streets. And being the fact that I grew up on the 18-mile stretch at mile marker 113.5, I've seen a lot of accidents in my time due to the narrow roads and the way people drive. This is the year 2000. Times have changed. There's a lot more people. If the road gets wide, it's not going to stop people from coming down there. We're to want to think safety, safety of life, and that's what this is all about. Let's widen the roads and think of other people instead of just ourselves. Thank you.
Hi, I'm only 13 years old, and I think if you widen the 18-mile stretch, then there will be more accidents than there already are, because that means that more people can get onto the road. And I have lots of friends who have already died in car crashes on the 18-mile stretch, and if there are more people coming down, then that means there's going to be more road rage, and I don't think that the 18-mile stretch should be widened. Thank you.
Yeah, my name is Mike Neely, and I'm actually in favor of widening the stretch. I know that they tried to widen, they had U.S. It's Highway 75 now, Alligator Alley. Yes, used to be called Death Alley. And when it's now I-75, there are more deaths on there than there were before. And so widening it really didn't save any lives. It's actually causing more deaths. The same thing will probably happen on US 1. Anyway, that's my comment.
Hi, we're longtime residents of the Upper Keys, and we listen to the radio station all the time, my family and myself. But during the last few days, we've listened to the comments and opinions of the radio station regarding Nora Williams. Well, we 100% support their opinions on Nora Williams, and we would believe that the Keys would do much better if we had someone else in her position. Besides that, she has a problem with talking about the truth, or actually she bends the truth quite a bit. We believe that she's had enough time in her office, and it's time for her to leave and give someone that would make this county a little more respectable if she would be replaced with someone else. Anyway, thanks to the radio station, and I'm glad that they're there because they're great to listen to. Thank you very much. Oh, by the way, final opinion is we are very much for widening the stretch, and I think it's about time. Besides saving many, many lives, it'll be good for the Keys. Have a nice evening. Bye-bye.
So this is what the people that have to drive this road have said. And now that they finally had a chance to voice their opinion. Prior to this program, there had been little chance for the people to be heard. But the word spread quickly once they had a platform. We heard from over 100 people. This was not only our most successful listener survey until now, it was one of many of Star 102's listener surveys that has forced elected and appointed government officials to stop delaying what needs to be done and take decisive action. We're also proud to report that on the evening of March 23rd of 2001, we received word that the widening of the stretch will go forward. The people were finally heard.